fast, huh? You like it?
Oh, you mean like moving your camera from down to up?
Yeah, it's called a transition.
Okay. Hey guys! Today we're making teriyaki beef, and we are just going to adapt the recipe I already have that you can find in my cookbook for teriyaki chicken, and we're just going to make it for beef. Actually, beef and tofu, not just beef.
That sounds like a pretty good duo.
Yeah, so let's get started. I've got a pound of flank steak that I have already cut up into thin slices. And I didn't do this, but if you have trouble slicing your beef into thin slices, you can always put it in the freezer for a little bit so that it freezes it up, and then you can cut really thin slices. Not totally frozen, just somewhat frozen. Half frozen?
Well, if you're gonna do it completely frozen, then you've made it even more difficult.
Yeah, so about half frozen. I don't know how long to keep it in the freezer for.
And it depends how cold your freezer gets.
Yeah, that's true too. So this is different. I didn't do this with the chicken, but I'm going to add about a tablespoon of cornstarch to my meat. And that just helps to keep the meat dry as it hits the oil in your pot, as well as helps kind of it helps the sauce in the end to kind of cling on to the meat, if that makes sense.
Yeah, to coat the meat.
Yeah.
Klingon has a not so great connotation to it.
Why? Because of Star Trek?
Alright, people, you gotta chime in there in the comments to educate
Your naive
Klingon.
wife. Because obviously with that laugh, it doesn't sound good. Okay, we're gonna put on the saute mode. Saute, okay, I just made a mess. Saute and adjust it to height.
Nice, nice.
So while the pot was heating up, you could have marinated your meat in the cornstarch, or the cornstarch in the meat, and prepare your other ingredients.
While Miss Impatient is waiting for the pot to heat up.
I have 1 clove of garlic that I'm just going to crush. You can chop it up if you want, if you don't have a garlic crusher.
Press
Garlic crusher.
Well, crusher sounds pretty intimidating. Garlic crusher.
And I'm just going to grate up the ginger. And again, you can chop it up if you like. I just like it finer. Yeah. All right, the pot is finally heated up. I'm going to add about a tablespoon of canola oil. Okay, then add my beef. All right, so I have it cooked mostly the way through, and we're just gonna leave it at that because it'll cook more when we put the pressure on. So I'm gonna cancel, saute mode, and add my ginger and garlic. All right, and the rest of my ingredients. So I'm having the recipe that's in the recipe book that I have for the chicken, because I'm only using a pound of meat, and that recipe is for 3 pounds of chicken thighs. I'm using a pound of meat and a pound of tofu. So I'm just gonna have the recipe, and my bad, I'm totally out of soy sauce, which I can't even believe I am out of. So I'm just going to use...
What kind of Chinese person are you?
I still have soy sauce, just not the light soy.
Oh.
So I'm using dark soy, should be fine. I'm using a 1/4 cup, which is also 4 tablespoons.
I'll take that comment back.
You know what? It'll just be darker than regular. and the flavor will be slightly different. And 2 tablespoons of mirin. Half a tablespoon of rice vinegar. Have 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. And when I put in my garlic and ginger, it was 1 clove of garlic and 1 teaspoon of grated ginger. Also going to add my tofu on top. Oh, I forgot the sesame oil.
Ha ha ha! I caught you.
Okay, so like a drizzle of sesame oil, half a teaspoon or so.
I saved this recipe. Admit it.
Yep, because that made all the difference. Otherwise, it wouldn't be teriyaki. I'm totally joking. Right, putting the lid on, locking it into place, making sure the sealing knob is on sealing, and we're just going to cook this for 5 minutes. Look at that.
Ah, nice.
Terrible.
Mess. Yes.
5 minutes, high pressure. That's it. Now go and wash rice.
Oh, that's my job.
Ooh, look at that.
Looking good.
Yeah, I'm not even sure we need to use a cornstarch slurry here.
It looks pretty thick.
No, it's pretty thin.
Oh.
Trick.
It's the tofu that fooled me.
All right, we're going to put the saute mode back on. I am going to add about a tablespoon of cornstarch. 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, and I'm going to add about a tablespoon of cold water. Remember, cornstarch doesn't dissolve in hot water, because when cornstarch goes into something hot, it thickens it. And that's it. Just cook it for about a minute. Turned off the saute mode, and I'm just going to scoop some out for
The taste. The taste. The taste.
You know, Brazil's no longer playing in football match, right? In fact, the whole thing is over.
I just needed to find a clean t-shirt.
I'm glad you found one.
Yeah. Which chopsticks do I use here?
The clean ones.
Oh, right. Thanks. Beef teriyaki, I usually associate it with Japanese restaurants that have bento boxes and they have tempura on the side and a maki roll on the other side. But it's usually accompanied with bean sprouts in the beef teriyaki, but I like the addition of tofu minus the bean sprouts. And then we can just have a real vegetable, right?
Yep. But you know what? The very first time I ever had beef teriyaki, it had tofu in it.
The rice is cooking at the moment, so I don't have that to accompany the beef teriyaki, but I have this. I might have to like time lapse it so that it's
you know
like
what? It's been sitting out for a long time.
Hey, my tongue burns easy, okay, girl? I would say sufficiently salty without the regular soy sauce. It's good.
Good.
Tofu is good. With rice, better.
Awesome. Thanks, dude. I forgot to mention that the tofu I used is a traditional firm tofu, so it holds its shape, and not like the soft tofu, which when I stirred it would have broken up into even more little pieces.
Yeah.
All right, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed this video. And again, the recipe is in the cookbook. You just have to make a little bit of an adjustment because of the amount of meat and tofu that's going into the dish, and also adjust the time. You don't need as much time for the beef because you already cooked it a bit, and it doesn't take as long as the chicken.
Speaking of cookbook.
Yes.
And next week.
Oh, next week.
Big deal.
It is a big deal, actually. Actually, this coming week, I will be meeting at the Mighty Oak Cafe on Wednesday and Saturday to sell some cookbooks. So if you're in town, please come on by. I'll be there on Wednesday, August 8th from 2 to 4 p.m. and Saturday, August 11th from 10 a.m. till noon.
Yep, and I'll be there with
the camera.
And the kidlets to chill. And so if you want to, chat, check out Archie the Jeep or whatever, just chill with us. That'd be cool.
Yeah, so come on by. If you like this video, please click the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram. Till next time, be simple, ordinary, and joyful.